Hey, it's Lauren. Thanks for joining me. I've got a bunch of empties to talk about, so I'm just gonna dive right in. And I grabbed this guy first. This is the Herbivore Pink Cloud Rosewater Moisture Cream. This was a fantastic moisturizer. It was really light. It had that kind of like fluffy, thin, melty consistency that a lot of moisturizers came out with, I'd say, in the last couple of years. Really similar to the Pharmacy Honey Drop, as well as a couple of the Youth to the People moisturizers that really kind of like thin, super melty texture, and I really like that texture. My skin really liked this. It got along with it. It has rose water. It had a really nice scent, and it was really great using in the summer. Is when I used the bulk of this guy. I actually finished this up quite a while ago and it's been hanging out, so yeah, I really liked this. And then I actually have two other things in here from Herbivore, a couple of the oils, some minis of them that I purchased with like a set a while back, and it is the Orchid and the Phoenix oil. These were great for travel. I actually want to give these a really good clean and then save them for decanting things in the future. The Phoenix oil is definitely a thicker one than the Orchid, and this I definitely forgot about after a little bit, and it didn't smell as good. It smelled like it kind of went off, so when it got down to the very end, I ended up using it on my body, the last of it. And then the Orchid oil is a little bit of a thinner consistency, and it actually has kind of quite a potent scent to it, very tea-like in its scent. But this one was really good for kind of like daytime lightweight moisture, and this one's a little bit thicker. I think it is like a Rosehip oil base, something very like vitamin A rich, if I remember correctly. So can be used day or night, but the kind of thickness of it kind of lent itself to be using more towards evening time. I still have the Lapis one somewhere. I don't know where that one is, but I like that one as well. And then I have a couple of guys that I finished up from Leahs Botanical, the Balancing Whipped Oil, as well as the Hyaluronic Acid Serum. I actually have both of these already. The aloe and green tea hyaluronic acid, it's a moisturizing serum, but it's also really good for calming. Really great for layering and sort of like plumping the skin. Again, my skin gets really well along with actually all of the key ingredients, the hyaluronic acid, aloe, green tea, and some of the other things in here. I don't know if she's updated the formula on this one. All of the brands kind of gotten a refresh. It has some new labeling, and you can get this in a much larger deluxe size. It's definitely more of like a thin, almost watery consistency compared to some other hyaluronic acid serums that I've tried that are a little bit more of like that kind of like little bit jelly texture, but great for layering. And then the Balancing Whipped Oil. This is something that I love using for my skin, well, all the time, but especially when it is kind of breaking out or irritable. It has a lemon balm in it, as well as, does it have yarrow in it? I can't remember. It has self-heal in it, that's what I'm thinking of. But really good for like healing and calming, as well as adding some moisture. It had a really great texture. That is like kind of blue. Obviously you can't see that now because it's here, but I did like a deep dive video with this that I'll link if you want to like know more about it. I finished up the Hans Dottir Elixir of Minerals. I loved this. This had sea kelp in it, as well as zinc. It is so unique and interesting. It's like firming and hydrating and calming. It has zinc in it, which does help me when I'm kind of like dealing with breakouts. It is so thin and watery, but so incredibly moisturizing, just like one pump. So fantastic for the summer because of how lightweight it is. I would totally purchase this again, especially if a retailer that had it and then had it on like promo. I would totally do that again. down the road. I loved this. It was fantastic. A couple other oils I finished up. This one took me quite a while to finish. This is the Violets Are Blue Facial Serum. It's carrot seed and rosehip oil, as well as evening primrose and jojoba. This actually was a little bit too heavy for me. It was a little bit too thick. It has, the base is actually evening primrose and then jojoba and then rosehip. And all of these are oils that I haven't noticed that caused me any issue, but for whatever reason, just the consistency of it was a little bit too thick for my face. It kind of just like sat on top of my skin. So that kind of took me a long time to end up using it. I don't remember the price off the top of my head. I want to say it's in the 30s, so it seemed well priced and balanced, but I could be remembering it incorrectly. So there's that one. And then the Youth to the People Acai, Prickly Pear, and Goji Berry, this Superberry Hydrate and Glow oil. Again, this is another oil that I really liked. This was actually the first thing I tried from Youth to the People, and I really liked it. And then I kind of like bought some more things, and they've all kind of been duds for me. I got the Aptogen moisturizer, like some samplers of it, and it was like just okay. And then the blue tinted one, it's like the Kale, I think, moisturizer from them, and I love the texture of it, but that broke my skin out pretty much instantaneously, which is unfortunate because I like the texture. So that was not a good product for me. And then the cleanser was a little bit too dry. So it's been a brand that this is the only hit so far. Great, absorbs really quickly, just left my skin very hydrated and glowy. And yeah, this was really great. I really like that. Totally would get that again in the future. And then the Paula's Choice, this was, I think it was 1%. It's one of those containers where as you like touch it, the entire labeling disintegrates, but this was their retinol booster, and it had like a really thin, yellowy, almost like runny egg consistency to it. I am on Paula's Choice PR, so I get things from them every now and then, and I've liked quite a bit of the things that they've sent me. A lot of these boosters that they've been coming out with lately, I'm currently testing out a peptide booster from them, but I like it. It's kind of nice to cocktail with. I would like kind of like pump this into my palm with like another oil or moisturizer or whatever I'm using, and kind of like make a little skincare omelet and then put that on my face. And that's kind of nice thing I liked about these different boosters, like kind of like targeted guys. Kind of similar, it feels like using when you use the Ordinary, where you kind of like cocktail things. But yeah, this was really good. It was very effective. I liked that. That was a good retinol. Good retinol for me. And then this took me forever to use up. This is the Peter Thomas Roth Pumpkin and Enzyme Mask. This was like all of the rage mask-wise, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't even remember. Like this and that Ren glycolic mask. Those were like some of like the masks everywhere, and I totally picked this up because all the YouTubers at the time were just hyping this up. And it's like an enzyme blend as well. It's got the AHAs in it, and then it also has like some physical exfoliant property, and it's one of those things where you're only supposed to leave it on for a couple of minutes, and this was way too intense for my skin. It still smells really good, still smells like pumpkin. Yeah, it was one of those things I purchased when I was like testing out a lot of different chemical exfoliants, trying to figure out how I liked them. And I quickly realized that AHAs are not always something that my skin can really handle. My face skin, that is. Luckily, this is one of those products that has like a 2-year shelf life. It definitely took me longer than 2 years to use up, but I ended up using it on my body to use it all up, and I think it helped in those areas. But yeah, just way too intense for me. I'm gonna talk about a bunch of cleansers now. These guys, totally an impulse and regret purchase. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Goddess Cleansing Ritual. There's the first step and the second cleanse. The first cleanse and the second cleanse. And this was this wasn't good. This one is like vitamin C based, and this one is like charcoal detox based, and they just weren't very good. I totally bought these on an impulse. I had wanted to test out more Charlotte Tilbury at the time. I like most of her makeup, so I thought I'd give this a try. And I think this came out the beginning of the year, and just not that great. Not that great. And vitamin C in a cleanser, I just don't really see the point, especially on a first cleanse, because you know, it's just washing off. So, and then I have a few of the Milky Jelly Cleanser from Glossier, obviously something I use pretty frequently and enjoy. Good basic cleanser. I've talked about it a bunch, so it's kind of like hard to say much else about it. Does a pretty good job of removing makeup, especially if you used it like you can use it as like a first and second cleanse. So I'll do like get stuff off and then go in again. Something I'll always go back to. I repurchase constantly. Gets along with my skin if my skin's getting annoyed. This is like one of my like go-to back to basics routine products. Let's see, also from Glossier, I have a couple of the Body Hero cleanser. Will purchase again. Like these a lot. Has a neroli scent. It's really lovely. Sometimes I buy it in the duo with the Body Hero Daily Perfecting Cream, and this is just okay. I think it's a okay moisturizer. It's pretty. It's not enough in the winter. It gives a little shine to the legs, but I do purchase the daily oil wash pretty frequently. So yeah, those are great. Really love them. Nice to shave the legs with and nice to use when it's really dry. So it's funny because this is like not enough in the winter, the body moisturizer, but this is really great in the winter, the oil wash. So, and then here's a couple other cleansers. I really had a lot of cleansers hanging out in my shower because I just didn't love any of them, so they just kind of were like hanging around, and I finally just like put the pedal to the metal and was like, no, you gotta finish all of these. So two others, the Mamond, I knew how to say this once. This is the Petal Spa Oil to Foam Rose Cleanser. I got a bunch of this brand from Octoly a while back, and I was really underwhelmed, didn't care for most of it. I rehomed several products, very fragranced, so not really something I liked using anywhere near my eyes. It did do an okay job removing makeup. Didn't get overly dry. It was just kind of irritating to use because of the fragrance. And then the Pharmacy Clean Bee, they called it the Ultra Gentle Facial Cleanser, but this actually isn't that gentle. It's kind of got like a gel base, so maybe if you have more sensitive skin that's on the oily side, maybe this would be good. But it didn't really remove makeup at all, and it was a little bit drying feeling after using. Just okay. Wouldn't purchase again. The cleansing balm by them is really good, but this is skippable. Let's see, what else shall I talk about? I'll talk about a couple of body products that I have nearby. The Mint, the Absolute Balm topical salve. You can see I cut into this guy to use it all up. Really liked this. It's supposed to be like a multi-purpose product that you can use, I think, on your face as well as your hair. I just used it on my body. It felt really nice. It absorbed pretty quickly. It didn't like feel too heavy. Smelled good. It was a little bit too heavy to use on my hair, but was really lovely. It smelled of bergamot and grapefruit, so refreshing and nice. I liked this quite a bit. And then the Daughter of the Land, the Deep Oil Moisturizer, the Sage and Grass scented for face and body. Again, something that I thought was a little bit too heavy for my face, but I loved this on the body. It was really nice. Felt really, really good. Absorbed, did the job. Beautiful to look at. It smells really good. I love a grassy, sagey scent. There's not, I feel like, still actually has a little bit of that scent going on. I enjoy that when I can get that in a body product because It's like if it's a scent that lingers, it's a scent that I like quite a bit versus anything that's like kind of coconut or rosy. I like just a little bit of, but if I'm using it all over and it lingers around, I end up getting like kind of annoyed by the scent after a little while. So anything that's like more citrus or sagey, woodsy, I like quite a bit. So yeah, that was that guy. A couple of mists to talk about. This was the Eve L'Homme Radiance Facial Mist. Another guy that I got through Octoly, and I really liked this. This felt lovely. It was really nice to use both morning and night. I got it during last winter, and it was really nice to use like before bed. Like I would actually keep this on my nightstand, and if I needed like another little spritz, because you know the house got super dry and I'm running the heater and I'm just like freezing, so this was really nice and nice to use in the makeup routine, in my makeup routine as well. It did start to malfunction, the spritz on it. It was like a really nice fine mister to start out with, but then it just kind of like started to malfunction and just get a little bit clumpy and water droppily. And then the other one mist I have to talk about is the Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist. I used to really like this. They have a lot of mists now. I feel like a few years ago, Pixie only had like a few skincare products and they were all kind of like hidden drugstore gems. But as they've like expanded and they have just, well, a very expansive range of skincare products, I find myself not caring for as many of them anymore. But this I really liked, but again, it was like a crapshoot with the spritzers. Sometimes it would work really good, and then I'd feel like after a little while it would break down, and some of them would just come out the sides and just not work at all. Decently moisturizing. I liked it. I've used up a few of these over the years. I remember when Tatcha first came out with that hydrating dewy mist, and this was like the dupe for it. I used that quite a bit then. And you know, I actually have a couple other things from Pixie. I'll just talk about these right now. The Rose Cream Cleanser. This was, again, just okay. It didn't irritate my skin. It was definitely something I would use as like a second cleanse. It kind of had like almost like a granular feeling to it. I don't think it has supposed to have any sort of exfoliating particles in it, but it was a little bit granular feeling. But it was still decent. It was still nice to use as a second cleanse. Didn't irritate my skin, was decent. And then these were a couple other things from the Rose line that I actually enjoyed quite a bit. This is the Rose Flash Balm. You can use it as a mask or a primer or a moisturizer. Kind of use it as any of those, and really nicely moisturizing. And I used it as any of those, only a couple times as like a wash off mask, but nice at night, and did well under makeup. A little bit too heavy to use during the summer because it is a thicker product. And then this is the Essence. I actually have another one of these. This actually I put in the Empties before it was done because my dog Lemon, she ended up getting hold of this and puncturing it, and it kind of like went everywhere. So it was no longer usable. It has like a jelly texture, so plumping, something to layer with. And then lastly, I'll talk about a couple of hair products. I have two things from Verb. The Hydrating Mask. I've used several of these over the years. I cut this one open to get the last bit of it. I like hair masks and treatments that I can use in the shower, and this is one. I think you can use it out of the shower as well, but it's one of those things that I would put in and then like shave my legs and then rinse out. Nice, really nice, does the job. And then the Verb Ghost Oil. I think I've also gone through another one of these, or maybe like a small mini. This was a moringa based oil. I think a lot of Verb's products are moringa based. Like it says, like it's a ghost oil. It does a nice job of moisturizing and making hair shiny, but it doesn't weigh the hair down where I feel like a lot of hair oils can. They can get kind of heavy. This definitely was very light and doesn't have a scent, which is nice. So it doesn't like linger. My hair likes that a lot. And then I have the DP Hue Apple Cider Vinegar Hair Rinse, another hair product I have used a bunch of. I have another one on the go. I have a lot of scalp issues that I deal with, and this is one of the products I keep in my rotation to keep that at bay. I have some like medicated-y shampoos and some tea tree oil shampoos, and it like moisturizes the hair as well. So it's a good also, like, I need to make sure I'm taking care of my scalp, but also, you know, don't want to overly dry out my hair, which sometimes using those more like medicated shampoos can do. So yeah, those are all the empties I'm going to talk about for today. Yeah, I hope you're having a good one, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.